And you know me, the hostess with the mostest of the podcast. I do MrFlourish podcast, which is a adult entertainer and movie star or centric. The Cheese is Good is a sports and lifestyle one, and we got one to talk about today. So buckle up. We're going to talk about the Trump verdict. Let that sink in. We're going to talk about the Trump verdict. I know a lot of y'all are going to get this on replay. And when you hear what I have to say, I want you to really think about it. So let's do it. Trump was convicted on 34 counts. Hush money. Let that sink in. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. Plus, I need to check on things, but I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. 34 counts of hush money. Trump was found guilty, and the way that I look at it is, I personally think he's trying to sell America on what things really aren't, what America really isn't, because America's changed. Um, if you really think about it, how many? Here's a question to ask, right? This is a good one. How many of your friends are not living comfortable or well? Most of our friends, if you really think about it, um, most of our friends are living comfortable, living well. So you can't sell. You can't say, "Oh, that's horse malarkey." No, you can't say that. Um, Most of our friends are financially better off than where they were COVID, right? Um, he's going to talk about inflation, but hell, we were inflating when he was president. And the system is set to inflate. The system is set to overinflate and to force the Fed to actually increase interest rates. That's the only way they can control it, right? They can't control interest rates otherwise. So Trump, guilty on 34 counts. He's trying to sell America that doesn't really exist anymore. I don't even know how and why he's running, other than there's something else, right? Now you're gonna hear the political side, the conservative side on the left side, like, okay, this is just Biden and his minions in the state of New York that are just causing issues for the Republicans and Trump. Look, man, a judge found and a jury found you guilty. That's it. They ain't got nothing to do with Biden. Let's talk about this. America's been going up, and America's rigged to go up. The stock market is rigged for the last 50 years, outside of the pandemic year, right? Let's look at the last 10 years. Outside of the pandemic year, America's been on a straight shot up. Tell me otherwise. Tell me otherwise. I'm waiting. Um, Another thing is if you look at America's growth cities, right? You have Austin, Texas, you have Raleigh, Durham, you have Las Vegas, you have Nashville, Tennessee. They're comfortable, no? Those cities are thriving. At the end of the day, they are. There's nothing that can be said otherwise. Um, so look at the sports. Look at the sports landscape. Perfect example. Sports are getting more money from broadcasting rights. NIL, money coming out of God knows wherever. It looks like they're printing money for sports. So America's not doing bad. So why are you lying, Trump, on how America's doing? No, that's not. America's doing fine. It's actually running hot, very hot on inflation. The 30-year mortgage was over 7%. It historically 5.5 to 6%. You eat it, but um, the issue is we have other things too. If you look at sports stadiums, they're absolutely packed. How many times you go to sports stadiums or you see them and you don't see too many empty seats, do you? Nope, you don't. You don't see too many empty seats. Um, and what else? Airline. I was just in the airport. I've been in the airport a lot lately, right? So check this out. I'm in the airport, and airports are packed, but they're more efficient. No, they're more efficient. Um, And so, what's the problem? Sports stadiums are packed, airports are packed, airlines are more efficient. Guess what's happened since 2023? Airlines are down. I mean, crime is down. Excuse me. Crime is down. The airlines. Crime is down. Crime is down. People getting money. They ain't gotta. They don't have to commit as much crime. Maybe that's it. But let's talk about you, Trump. You were guilty. Okay, guilty. Period. Um, there's no way around it. Will you go to jail? No, he won't. No, he has too much money, too much clout. There's too much political angst. Um, no, he won't. He won't go. He won't go. He needs to, but he won't. Um, but let's look at it. Let's look at another thing now. Let's look at something else. Remember the New York Five? Those kids who were innocent, or those people that were innocent, right? And then several years later, they realized, oh wow, they're innocent, right? But you felt they were guilty and wanted to persecute them, Trump, but then they were innocent. Then what? So it's like you're just looking for a hot take. Let's talk about this. Why doesn't anybody talk about when Trump had people storm Capitol Hill? Let's stop right there. hmm Stop right there. Why don't people talk about still while you running for president? You had people storm Capitol Hill. I don't understand that at all. I don't even understand how but he's guilty. 34 counts. Great. Granted. Okay, we hear you guilty. Shaken, not stirred, right? um, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. NBC. Here's a poll. 3 months. Actually let me make sure. I'm gonna read it right now. Here it is right here. From NSNBC, Trump is ranked dead last as the worst president ever in the history. I'm not making this as MSNBC. I should put a link to it in the description. I probably will. But then it's like, oh, you're against Trump. No, I'm against someone who was just had a verdict of being a felon, trying to be my president of the United States. I'm against someone who has his staff, and every one of his staff, what I understand, are what, felons? It's like a little cabal. It's like a little country club of felons. No, 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 no. And if this is the best that the Republicans or independents can do, then we're just screwed anyway. Because at the end of the day, we're gonna have a recession. Um, but it is what it is, right? But your friends are living good lives. Stock market is auto set and Bitcoin to be going up. People can have comfort in their jobs. Why would you change that for a now convicted felon guy wanting to run for president again? Who had people storm Capitol Hill? Remember that? Who's ranked, according to MSNBC, dead last as the worst president ever in U.S. history. You can't make that shit up. You cannot make that shit up. Let me see if anybody said something in the chat because I didn't even. Okay, cool. Um, and I don't want to talk long about this at all. I don't want. This is not one of these where I'm going to talk like 30, 40 minutes. This is something I want out there for people to comprehend. Don't upset the apple cart, right? At the end of the day, don't upset the apple cart. We don't need a felon as president. America is doing great. Stadiums are packed. Sports getting more money. The growth cities are going crazy. Austin, Raleigh, Vegas, Nashville, KC. Um, Airlines are efficient as hell. Crime is down since 2023. I don't see it. Hopefully, people can make the right decision. My whole thing is, and if you don't like Biden, I don't care for Biden. I really don't, y'all. This is going to be the first election I'm not even going to vote because I don't like who's there. And maybe that's my fault. Maybe, maybe not. But I know who I won't vote for. I won't vote for a felon. If the shoe's on the other foot, you think they vote for me? No dice. Peace out, everyone. Little Sunday 10-minute dime drop on this whole Trump verdict. He's guilty. The hush money. Who else knows whatever else? It probably more stuff will probably come out. Get ready. It's going to be a really crazy political season and a lot of clickbait. Get ready. Peace out, MrFlourish. The Cheese is Good, sports and lifestyle podcast. Adding some political tomorrow. NBA Finals predictions. Celtics versus Mavs. Who you got? I know who I got.